to another episode of How Not to Garden Railway. Slight change of format this episode, in that I'm talking the camera before the actual work begins. Thought it might be a new thing to do. Yes, so this episode's slightly different, mainly because I haven't got any footage of anyone else's railways, because nobody sent me any more. So if you'd like to contribute, please send, or just make a little 1 minute long video with you talking about your railway, and upload it unlisted to YouTube and send me the link and I'll put it in one of these videos. As it is, I've got a little bit of footage of a day at the Ipswich Model Engineering Society Club track. We're continuing building the wall in the scenic forest section over there, and just enjoying the garden railway a bit. So that's what's in store for this episode. Hope you enjoy it. Right, the track's had a bit of time to settle down. Trying to bed bricks all nice and fun. And I want this area to be a little bit of forest before the train enters the small town, this will be, of Aldborough. So we want some space for some small conifers such as these two, but we still need to leave this earth mound here for the parents to have a bit of sunflowers in. So what I want to do is I want to build up a wall, a retaining wall for this mound of earth here, so that we can maybe put some buildings along the top of them and they can slowly come down towards the track level, and then behind them we can plant loads of flowers and everything. It will look very nice. And then in front of the wall we want room to plant these little trees without them getting in the way. So we need to take this back about, I don't know, 15 centimetres, 10 centimetres, build up a wall, and then we can start on the ballasting. But I won't do that. I won't do the ballasting yet, because otherwise the soil has a tendency to drop onto the track. So let's get started. Here we go. What are you doing? Cats. Now, my method of walling is to use broken bits of pot cemented together in a sort of mock brick-ish wall. I saw on a railway that to represent a slate wall they'd taken the chunks of garden slates for mulch and just cemented it together, and although it doesn't look exactly like a slate wall, it just gave a brilliant impression of a slate wall. So that's sort of the same thing that we're going to do here. And hopefully what we'll end up with is something akin to this little wall here, like that, or even something like this cutting through here. Now, if you're like me, you won't be able to throw anything away. So what I have here are bits of pot which got damaged in the frost in the garden. But I also went to the garden centre and they had lots of them that had got damaged in the frost. So I came away with as much as I could carry home. Got some rather odd looks. So those are those, and also some terracotta tiles. Now these were on the roof of the house next door, and when they were having their extension redone, they took all the old tiles off the roof and threw them on the floor. And they smashed, obviously. So I went along with their permission and took as many as I wanted. So, all you do, with a hammer, scare the cat away, like that, and just break them into little chunks like that. If you use the sharp end of the hammer, you can control where they split. You get lots of little chunks like that. While I'm doing this, why not watch this? Yeah. Right, now we've got a nice big supply of these little chunks, so it's time to get building. So, what I've got here is quite a wet mix, and that's just 3 trowelfuls of cement, quite a bit of sand, and then about 3 or 4 trowelfuls of soil. And the soil in there is just going to help it weather a bit and go a bit green, make things grow in it, and weather the wall down nicely. This orange terracotta might seem really quite stark when you first see it and quite bright, but it weathers down to it. It goes quite slimy actually, because terracotta pots have got a tendency to go quite green. So actually these walls weather down really nicely. So after some quick slab of tea, let's get going. First of all, add in just a little layer of, you can work this with your hands, just a little layer like that of the cement. Okay. Now choose the widest stones that you've got left over in your pile, and just press them in like that. Right, nice, and try and get them a bit level, and work your way along. It's nice if they slot together a bit. Obviously, it's a bit like dry stone walling, just with terracotta and cement. So it's not a lot like dry stone walling actually, come to think of it. If you haven't got one the right shape, doesn't matter, you just crack a new one. Right, so we've got the first layer down and in, so let's start on the next layer. Again, it's just a case of getting your wet mix, putting it on like that on top, and then finding some suitable pieces that can just nestle on top like that maybe. Try and use some still big pieces like that, and they can just nestle down like so. Right, I'll get on with this then. Right, we've got our retaining wall, and I've piled the soil up behind it now, which is good. Gradually slopes down. I might put up some building fronts, facades here.